The Marine Corps requires leaders of all ranks to have a deep understanding of war and the employment of force. MCDP 1 reminds Marines that the military profession is a thinking profession. Every Marine is expected to be a student of the art and science of war. It goes on to say that every Marine has an individual responsibility to study the profession of arms. Self directed study in the art and science of war is at least equal in importance to maintaining physical condition and should receive at least equal time. The Marine Corps Association understands the critical importance of ensuring that Marines are as mentally ready for combat as they are physically ready. That is why we offer an entire page dedicated to wargaming on our website. We have recommendations for both tabletop board games as well as computer games. And for Marine Corps Association members, there is a discount code for war game design studios that you can find on the website. War games are a great way to immerse yourself in history and to put yourself in the shoes of the great leaders of history. Go beyond guided instruction and experience the thrill of wargaming. Check us out at mca-marines.org/decision-making-exercises/wargaming-2. That's mca-marines.org/decision-making-exercises/wargaming-2. Take your training to the next level. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners, welcome to episode 161. This week, we are happy to have Sarah Kallassy on the show. Sarah is a veteran Marine linguist and host of the Veteran Affairs YouTube show Bluff, where she gives you all the up-to-date information going on with the VA. Sarah is so kind to spend time with us, sharing her fascinating story as the daughter of a Marine Silver Star recipient from World War II. We talk about what brought her to the gun club, graduate school, work with DC United, and ultimately the VA. It was awesome spending time with Sarah, and we are excited to be able to share her amazing story with you. Here is episode 161. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you tuning in and for your continued support. I am Vic. I'm here with Nancy.
Hi, everyone.
And just like every week, we are super excited to be bringing these amazing stories to you. But this is, this definitely fits the bill from amazing stories. And we are really excited to be welcoming Sarah Kallassy, host of The Bluff, the VA's YouTube show that gives you all the updates on what's going on with the VA. She's also the managing editor of District Press. So, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Vic. Hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, this is so I'm going to I guess we'll start by just putting it out on the table that I was not stalking you. But
Ooh, this is off to a not a great start already. I'm
no,
taking
no,
notes.
because I just want to get it out because I don't want there to be any insinuations or people sort of like trying to read the chicken bones on this. But we have so much like geography and locations in common and chronology. It's really quite mind-blowing. So just to really quick, I think people have heard enough of my backstory, so they can probably fill in the blanks. But so you are obviously veteran Marine. You did 2 tours in Afghanistan. And you were out of Lashkar-Gah, is that correct? At least for one of them?
For part of the time, yeah.
Yeah, Las Vegas, and that was 2012?
2013 out of good old Las
13.
Vegas with the
Okay.
volleyball
Yeah, with
court.
the Fijian volleyballers, yeah.
Yeah.
And the very loose bathroom attire etiquette. And then you went to American University. You were at the Koga Business School, and you were there in 2019?
2019 to 2021. So right in time for COVID and the
Yeah,
whole
Oh,
we're
good
gonna do school
timing.
online now. Let's figure out how to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that all great things. And you just really quick, were you able to actually walk for graduation, or did you have to do yours virtual also?
So funny story. I've done two master's programs now, and it's kind of a joke. I have a child for each one. So I I was finishing school up actually with a newborn and I finished my MBA when my youngest son was about 4 or 5 months old. So no,
Wow.
I did not end up walking for graduation. I had also just started at VA right after that, and I was a little busy. I had some things going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, your schedule's not a lot of white space on that calendar.
You know, no, no, there was no blank space to quote
Yeah.
Taylor Swift a little bit. Yeah, no blank space.
Well, let me tell you, a virtual commencement ceremony is. I highly recommend it. You can wear your sash around, a V-neck, deep V T-shirt, or some sort of sleeveless. Put your cap on. It's all good. Yeah.
Is that what
Um,
you did, Vic?
yeah, we had to do a virtual. So they had a weird thing you could, if you wanted to walk, you had to sign up and then they would give you timestamps. So you couldn't mull around on campus either. So you had 15 minutes basically get from your car, get to the hall, walk, get your thing, and then you had to like get your ass off campus now, like you
Oh, that's
diseased animal.
wild.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was really kind of crazy. A few folks did it, but they basically you sent in a picture and then they would announce your name and then put your picture up. So it was all via Zoom. I think I sent in like a Ralph Macchio Karate Kid thing for mine. Uh, and so
I was gonna say I was kind of hoping you were wearing the shirt that you're wearing today because that's pretty awesome.
yeah, this is my kitchen renovation attire. So you're really getting to see behind the curtain on this one, Sarah.
Yeah, just for people listening, can you tell everybody what you're wearing, Vic? Who are you wearing today?
Who am I wearing? Oh well, this is from the Marvel line, and Captain America. But not, comic book Captain America. This is, I think this is Marvel Phase 1 Captain America, and it's Wickaway. So, as I'm sweating through my nervousness of this thing, I'm also cooling myself down, so it's pretty sweet.
He's super practical, nothing else.
Yeah. So, alright, enough of so, Sarah, as a veteran Marine, you came out of the NYC, is that correct? Is that where you recruited out of?
So it's kind of again a funny long story. I grew up in upstate New York,
Mm.
um, in East Greenbush, so about 3 hours north of New York City. I did go to NYU for part of my undergrad. Very things come full circle, kind of an artsy background. I went to Tisch for costume and scenic design and had a little break in there where I was kind of questioning, as most young people do, what am I doing with my life? And is there something more that I'm meant to be doing? Um, so took some time off to just kind of think about things, work some hospitality jobs, bartending, waitressing, the usual, and just try to figure things out because school is expensive and you don't want to continue going on with something that maybe you're not sure you're in the place you're meant to be in.
Sure.
Uh, did some traveling, came back, and definitely had thought a lot about my dad. My dad passed away when I was 15. He was a Marine veteran, World War II, and thought a lot about my dad and just kind of like the incredible purpose and meaning that he had to his life and what I wanted for myself. And of course, when you don't know what else to do, joining the Marine Corps is clearly the answer. So everyone
It
should just go
yeah,
join the Marine
it's
Corps when you don't know what to do.
at least
A
that's what
lot
the
of our
benefit
guests have
tags say, yeah.
yeah, and a lot of our guests have said that too, sure, why not? Seems like the thing to do.
So I was actually recruited out of Pennsylvania. I was living there for a little bit. I had I had kind of left New York City again. Cost of living's very high. working more hospitality jobs, was recruited out of Pennsylvania, and they wanted to send me to boot camp on an open contract. And someone very smartly told me, don't you dare do that. It was the area sergeant major there. We were doing one of those DEP program fitness days runs. And he's like, I saw your ASVAB score. Don't go in as an open contract. You're going as intel. I said, okay, sure, whatever. Just get me out of here. Like, we have to
Yeah.
move forward. So ended up went to boot camp, 4th Battalion, of course, Oscar Company. I don't even think that's a thing anymore, but here we are. And then went on to DLI to
Right out of
become
boot camp.
you go to
Did you do
your kind of
MCT?
follow-on MCT training,
Yeah.
and then you go.
Wow.
That's a blur. That was really cold, and I think I was like a human popsicle while we were doing MCT because it was January and super cold.
Yeah, down
But
in
yeah,
the down in the PI.
yeah.
So then you head out to Monterey, which so that would have been still winter, spring, so it's not that much warmer. So at least I guess you got
Much warmer than the woods around Camp Lejeune. Oh my goodness, and digging
Certainly a better
holes in the woods.
view.
yeah, that's true.
Beautiful.
You're not digging trenches and yeah, having to low right Leo.
I think our group in MCT was one of the few. They actually had to pull out of one of the night exercises because it was so cold. It was
Mm.
actually an emergency. So we were all out in the holes, in the middle of the woods. And they're like, yeah, we need to go. Somebody said we have to bring all of you in because you're gonna get hypothermia out here.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was, yeah.
That's
Nice.
not good.
It was not a good time, but I can feel my fingers and toes now, so we're in good shape.
And so you end up then at DLI, you end up studying Pashto. Did you like just max out D lab, or was that something you wanted to do? Like how did that end? What was the journey there?
Oh, so that's wild. Okay.
Or just like
So,
you're too good of a test taker? Is that the problem here?
oh my gosh. So you take the D lab. I don't remember what I got on the D lab. But basically they put all of the incoming Marines into Pashto because they had a deployment slated for whichever year for second radio, and they knew we need this many Marine linguists to go. So we ran right through the course, graduated, hardest 47 weeks of ever. It was
Yeah.
a new course at DLI. They were not super experienced teaching it. There had been maybe one class before us and maybe a couple Marines that had gone through it. And I remember showing up to DLI the first week, and one of the Marines that was already in class, like basically like dragged us aside and was like, all right, listen up. This is what you're going to do because you're not going to fail. You're going to go right now and you're going to learn the alphabet. And the Pashto alphabet is not anywhere close to the alphabet you have in English. So he was on our backs for weeks and weeks and weeks while we were waiting to start our actual course. And I'm really thankful to him.
Yeah,
I
what great advice.
couldn't stand him at the time because he was like really, the typical macho kind of jerk. But I'm
Wait,
very
in the Marines.
thankful.
A macho guy is in the Marines?
Yeah, I know, shocking, right? Um,
He's the one.
the only one, clearly
The
the only
outlier.
one.
He was definitely the outlier, and you ended up with him. Gosh.
We ended up with him, but forever thankful that he pushed us to get a jump start. So when we actually started class, we were in a better place
Yeah, no, that's
than
really great. And then, so did you come from a multilingual background, or was like this just a complete like brain melter?
it was. It was brain melting. So my family is Lebanese American. My dad grew up speaking Lebanese Arabic, and in our house, he would not speak Arabic when I was a child. And this was because when he went to school, My grandparents were immigrants. He went to school, he couldn't speak English and was mercilessly teased. Just unbelievable, he and his siblings. And then he ended up for a good portion of his life, as did his brother and two sisters, translating for my grandmother, my grandfather, and just really helping them kind of integrate into life here in the US. And so my dad was constantly at home. You're American first. You are going to speak perfect English. I think I had like the highest reading scores in my class as a child because he just pushed me to read and learn and write and just be really fluent. So, but you show up to DLI with a Middle Eastern last name and they're like, oh, you know Arabic. We're going to throw you in Pashto because you already can read and you can write and you know this other language. And I show up at DLI, I'm like, wow, I really want to take Arabic and like finally be able to speak,
Hmm.
this language that I've been locked off from for all these years. So
Like, so close.
so brain melt, total brain melt
Yeah.
when you get there.
Um, yeah, that's a very similar thing. My mom, I'm first generation American. My mom came from Saigon at the fall, so she arrived at Camp Pendleton 75. I came into San Diego 76.
Oh my
So I
goodness.
always joke around. My mom doesn't like this joke, but I joke around that I'm an anchor baby. Um, and she, but
Why
she
doesn't
was.
she like that joke,
I
Vic?
wonder
I
why your
don't
mom,
know.
yeah,
It's
is not
I
happy
think I
with
feel like
that.
it's super clever. Um, but she was the same way. Like, I'm struggling. My accent is. I don't want you to have an accent. I don't want you to be teased. Those sorts of things. So that was something that was very much on her mind. Just figured it would help me assimilate quicker if I didn't have to go through some of the like superficial things that other immigrants have to go through. Um, and then I became a Marine. She's like, "What the hell? I wasted these good ideas on you." Um, but anyhow, so speaking of being a Marine, and coming from immigrants, your dad is just an unbelievably fascinating story. We were talking a little bit before in the pre-show, but could you tell us a little bit about your dad, his love of pipe smoking, and his um, yeah, and just where he ended up, and yeah, just tell us a little bit about your dad because it's just an unbelievably fascinating story.
Absolutely, Vic. And yeah, disclaimer for the kids out there, don't smoke. Smoking's bad for you.
Yeah, yeah, it is a
And
tobacco pipe. Yeah, so
It
he,
was it was a different time. It was a different
yeah,
time.
yeah,
it was a
but in
different
modern day
time.
context, he had been vaping.
I still think my dad would have had a pipe. He was
Yeah,
super
okay.
classy. So my dad, Peter Abdullah, after after the Pearl Harbor bombing, he and his older brother, Mike Abdullah, went and enlisted in the Marine Corps. And they were brothers. They went together. And so my dad was a telephone linesman and a radio operator, the 1st Marine Division. He was attached to a mortars platoon. He was in the South Pacific, and anyone that's into kind of World War II history knows that that was not a great place, not a great place
No.
to be.
Not a good vacation
Um,
spot.
Not a good vacation spot. Highly like would not recommend at that point in time. And so my dad was like not a super tall guy at all. He was like kind of smaller, but real tough. And he loved smoking his pipe. My mom to this day will say like, "Oh, your dad used to smoke this cherry tobacco pipe and it smelled so good in the house." And but he gave it up when you were born because he didn't want you to be around pipe smoke. I was like, "Okay, cool." You know, dad gave gave that up. But they were fighting on Cape Gloucester. I believe it was Cape Gloucester and Conran Hill. And they were under super heavy fire. They were pinned down and just having trouble, communicating with the other units and keeping the lines of communication open. So my dad, being himself, like ran down a hill. This is what I was told. He ran down a hill under enemy fire, like heavy machine gun fire, some mortar fire. And apparently he had a telephone line that he was running to set up or retrieve. I'm not sure which, but the story he kind of told after the fact was very flippant about the whole situation. He's like, "Oh, I left my pipe down the hill." And I was really upset about that because clearly this is not the day when like USPS is delivering to,
Right.
your fob.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
can't just get a new pipe.
Can't go back
no,
Drop
to
of a
your mom
hat.
Amazon,
can't
yeah, and go to the PX.
can't be like, "Yo, mom, I need a new pipe," or cookies. So he ran down the hill, got the pipe, grabbed the telephone wire, ran back up the hill. And then apparently there was something where he was signaling aircraft with like some dirty handkerchiefs that he had in his pocket. Like
Epic.
my dad's whole life, he always had a handkerchief. He was like the ultimate gentleman. Like he would mow the lawn in slacks and nice shoes. It was ridiculous.
That
It,
actually sounds a lot like my dad.
your dad was like this too, Nancy.
Yes, I mean, no kidding. You digress here. He called me in the middle of the night one night, was having chest pain and needed to go to the emergency room. And I got there
Oh my
and he was
gosh.
calmly sitting in the chair in his perfectly pressed khakis and shirt. And I was like, Dad, really? But anyway,
Oh
I
my
digress.
goodness.
Yeah. Same kind of character, always has a handkerchief in his pocket.
Hmm. I think our dads
Different
were,
generation.
yeah, probably best friends at some point because this is very typical. So my dad ran back up this hill with his pipe and apparently telephone wire and his dirty handkerchiefs waving in the air. Not, this is quite the image in your head. But
Yeah.
later, he was awarded the Silver Star for gallantry in action. And I know I showed you guys before the show, but the picture of him getting the Silver Star pinned on by Chesty Puller. And this like I taped this with I think some just packing tape.
To preserve
This
it
was
like a
to preserve it.
Yeah.
field expedient laminator.
And I took this to boot camp with me and kept it in my Blue Money valuable bag. And I think I've taken this picture on both of my deployments and kept it with me. It's folded, like it fits in the breast pocket of your cami top or your cargo pocket. So this picture's been around.
Well, didn't
Probably
you
like,
say too that like while you're at boot camp, like one of your DIs found it, was like, "You need to go to the museum right now," or something like that?
yeah, it was right after we got our EGAs and that lovely few days after when people stop screaming in your face every day, like screaming less at you.
Right.
And I was packing up some of my stuff, and the DI found this, and she was like, told me to go run to the base museum with this picture. So I did, and they were like, "That's really cool." So they were excited. But
Well, so did you know all of those stories? Did your dad talk about that a lot when you were growing up, or is that something you came to find out later after he had passed?
so I knew he had won the Silver Star, and I knew that he was pinned on by Puller. Growing up, I had two pictures over my bed at all times. There was a picture of Jesus, like the Divine Mercy picture of Jesus, and Chesty Puller. Like, kid you not, like growing up, Chesty Puller was larger than life in our home.
That's
I think
amazing.
I say this, it sounds funny, but it's true. My dad had a lot of respect for him. We have a note, I think it's in this book from his wife Virginia, congratulating my parents when I was born. So they stayed in touch over the years, even after he passed, which is
Wow.
really nice.
Well, and to kind of follow on with that, so obviously you knew about this, you knew about the Marine Corps, and you knew how important it was to your dad. So how much pressure did you feel, going through boot camp to succeed and to perform? to live up to that expectation that was something that you had, built up for yourself.
And did you pack a pipe and handkerchief just in case?
Okay, I didn't pack a pipe. But Nancy, to your point, first of all, there was no other service considered at all. It didn't matter the really nice signing bonuses they had. It didn't matter any of that. Like, I knew my dad would be rolling in his grave if I chose another service, but I also knew he's probably real pissed because that would maybe not be what he wanted for me as his daughter. Um,
Got it.
but no, and I think we all kind of know this, being Marines, being around Marines. When you are going through training, the quickest way through is through, and you do it right the first time. But there's also a really high standard you're held to, and that you hold yourself to. And I don't think failure is in the vocabulary. You see these kind of joking images of the maze, and then like the walls knocked down. It's like, oh, the Marines were here, and that's the mentality. Like, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be things that are hard, but you overcome them. And if the hardest thing you ever have to do is go to boot camp, you've had a really good life, because there are things so much harder. But I think the discipline and the routine you get there and the confidence really can help you to overcome the other challenges that you're going to face in life.
Wow, well
A-
said.
And and then later on in your career, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I'll let you backtrack, Vic, but
You know, this Tarantino, this thing for sure.
during your own deployments, did you then gain a greater appreciation or understanding for your dad and what he experienced during World War II?
I did. I know that what we experienced was nowhere near what those Marines experienced during their time. Even probably in the worst case scenario, there was a lot of hope that you were going to come home. And I know in the case of a lot of our veterans that served in World War II, World War I, and other conflicts, when you left, and you just pretty much figured that was it for you. You were not going to return home, and it was a huge blessing to return home. And something really important to me too is having faith. I don't know if we can talk about that on
Of
this
course, yeah,
on
no,
this
Yeah,
show.
it's your
absolutely.
story. It's your story, yeah, tell it.
But my dad, when we grew up, I remember we would be in church on Sunday, and my dad prayed a rosary every Sunday and a lot of other days. And I asked him about it because I was young. I was like, Dad, like, you do this every week. Like, what's going on? And he's like, well, I said a prayer while I was deployed, and I said, I will dedicate a rosary every week to the Blessed Mother if she brings me and my brother back safely from the conflict. And she did. This is what my dad, internalized, and so he would pray every week. And so that's a big thing too, just having faith and having an anchor and having your family as an anchor as well to get you through hard times. But we had hard experiences, but I don't think it was anywhere near what my dad or my uncle or any of those veterans experienced. I did lose someone in my unit, cared about a lot. Sergeant Lucas Pyatt. He was killed by the Taliban 2 weeks into our first deployment to Afghanistan. And good man, good Marine, even better friend. I had known him in the schoolhouse at DLI. He was another linguist, and when I showed up at Camp Lejeune, it was basically like I showed up and we were deploying less than like a couple weeks later because they rushed me and my class through the schoolhouses, and they were like, "You're deploying. There's no pre-deployment training. There's no." anything. Like, don't get comfortable. You're going. And he was there to meet everyone. He was there to make sure we were okay. We had what we needed. And he tragically he lost his life 2 weeks into our deployment there. It was February 5th of 2011. And I don't know if you're super familiar with radio battalions, but we don't usually lose a lot of folks. That's just not a very common thing. And so that left a mark on our whole friend group, that left a mark on our battalion. But I just want to take a minute to really remember him and his sacrifice.
Well,
Well,
thank
thank
you
you
for
for that.
sharing his story
Yeah.
with us.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I mean, regardless of the frequency of casualties and just seeing, I mean, just being there, seeing it, I mean, it's sort of the impetus behind this whole podcast project we have is just this idea that, stories matter. And yeah, granted, maybe Radio Battalion they're not seeing the same level of Marine casualties as say, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines or something, but at the same time, I mean, it's not like the Marines at Radio Battalion didn't have an absolutely critical piece, yourself included, especially as a Pashto linguist in Afghanistan during the surge. Um, I can't imagine, you talk about, the ammo, the assistant machine gunner, for example, carries the ammo, like, it's very critical. Being able to talk to the people that you're partnering with and then fighting against, understanding culture and language, I can't imagine a more, yeah, anyways, it's all critical. Standing post, fixing the fucking tray rack heaters,
Amen.
at some shitty cop, like, so I don't have to eat MREs every damn day. Amazing. Or the guy who can fix the generator so I don't have to try to shave with ice cold water in the middle of Marja in December. I mean, the shit is fucking huge. And so anyways, it all matters, and it is always tragic when we lose one of our um fellow Marines. But thank you for sharing that story with
And
us
Vic,
on that note.
to your point there about all these jobs being so important, I, I was thinking about this last night, and just thinking about, things we are going to talk about today and really reflecting back. And you're right. Every single job, every single function, it you do things in life sometimes that feel so not grand, right? But
Yes, every day.
if but if you don't do the small thing and you don't do the small thing well and with consistency and with pride, the whole mission, the whole everything really falls apart.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
to your point there,
yeah, and I guess to dovetail off of that too, like we and I'm sure it's not much different, although the speed of information, but I think just as humans, we are very self-centered. And um so it's really easy to lose sight of, the like you said, sort of the lose the forest through the trees, when you're not the guy that shot bin Laden in the face, or you weren't like, I'm the fucking combined task force commander taking on ISIS, baby, like Maverick and Goose on Alert 5, or whatever. um it's so
I love
easy
your
to lose.
references. I love them.
It's so easy to lose sight of that because we want that instant gratification, like I can't, me, fixing the suspension system on an MRAP, I'm not really gonna post that and get a ton of likes or whatever. But that shit matters.
Well, and I think, I mean, I think part of that reason is because overall civilians, people in the United States who have no affiliation with the military whatsoever, have no understanding at all of how important every little piece, every little cog in that machine is. And I think that just fuels that tendency to, to be, hey, I'm the one who shot bin Laden in the face, that mentality. Because people who don't know what you all do and have done don't understand it, and they can't relate. And I mean, I think that's a whole other episode, but I think that's a bigger problem we have here in America. And maybe that filters into the important work you do with the VA, which I know you're not here in your capacity for the VA, but it is part of who you are and part of your story now, Sarah.
Absolutely. And
Fucking
Nancy,
fantastic segue too, Nancy. What a professional. Honestly, she carries the
Nancy just
show. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, get on my back. We're going. Um, yeah, but like, talk to us about the bluff. This was, as a veteran Marine, I'm sure you were inundated with stories of how the VA is either, the bee's knees or is all fucked up. How did you end up as the host of, the YouTube face of the Department of Veterans Affairs?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wild, wild story. As they always are, and this one comes back to the Marine Corps. But I would say, first and foremost, I know I'm not here in my official capacity, but it is a privilege to get to work on behalf of fellow veterans every single day. And again, doing just that small part, no matter what that is, to support the mission. And mission driven folks, if you're not doing something with a clear mission that you believe in, you're adrift. And I would say I'm incredibly fortunate. I get to wake up every day and I get to go to work and support a mission I believe in, and that's help and take care of my brothers and sisters. And that gets me up in the morning. Besides my two kids who run into my room and jump on my bed
I'm gonna say that's
And
more of a
literally get you
forcing
up in the morning.
function. Yeah.
and literally get me up in the morning. Yeah. The littlest is headed toward the Marine Corps in 15 short years. Let me tell you what, he's 5 a.m. wake up call.
Reveille, reveille, reveille.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm in trouble if he learns that, and that's coming soon.
So how did the bluff come about then? I mean, obviously the VA is a massive entity that has many, many talented folks and many, many, creative avenues. Like where did the bluff come from? And I apologize for the dog. Speaking of reveille, hold on a second.
We love to hear dogs speaking in the background. It's my favorite. Um, I have a 108-pound German Shepherd who is
Oh,
mercifully
nice.
quiet right now. He's huge.
Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna stop. So I apologize for
That's
It's
okay.
fine.
What's her name?
It's
What's her
fine.
name, Vic?
it's Bella. She
Oh,
is a wild one. Bella, come here.
do we get to see her? I want to see her.
I don't know if she's off doing something. Anyhow,
All
I'm
right,
so
feeling really
yeah,
Bella.
the
jealous now
bluff.
because I'm in the office. There's no dog here in the office. You guys have your dogs there with you. All right. I have a train in the background, and that is not a good vibe.
But working AC today, right, Nancy?
Yeah, working AC. It's the little
only
things.
only the best.
The
Only
little
the
things.
best. Yeah, so the
So,
bluff, how did that come about? Was this a demand signal, or was this a creative idea that really landed? Or yeah, what was the process on developing this channel?
so maybe a secret, maybe not so much a secret. There are a lot of veterans that work at VA. There are a lot of veterans that work at
You
VA,
heard it here first, folks.
which is really cool because they understand kind of the pain points, they understand the audience. And so the bluff, or the bottom line up front for anyone not familiar with the acronym, is a VA YouTube show by veterans for veterans. And I kind of joke, it's like by Marines and one Army veteran for veterans, because the majority of our team are Marine veterans. And it started, I want to say it started as VA News and a different show, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, a little bit further back. And awesome Navy veteran, shocking, another veteran in the mix, also a good friend who wanted to find a way to get information out to veterans in a quick, easy way that they can digest and kind of like tuck something in their cargo pocket to serve them later. And so went through some iterations. The Bluff emerged. I am, I believe, the third show host, but we've really worked on kind of moving the show to the next level. And our whole goal is to really, we want to talk to the veteran like a friend, number one. And we want to talk to the veteran how we would want someone to speak to us
Nice.
and share information in a way that makes sense. Because, okay, none of us want to look dumb, right? I
Right.
do not want to look dumb. If I'm going to do something, you better tell me by the letter how to go do it and what papers I need. And I don't care if you give me 20 pages on how to do it, but just please tell me, like, and in plain English. So that's the goal of the show. A lot of humor, maybe not as much humor or the brand of humor that we would usually use, but in
I think it's
bite-sized pieces.
great. I think you hit the humor just right.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially and the thing that I think maybe folks don't quite realize is what a challenge it is to try to deliver, you know, fairly dense information in less than 5 minutes while making it accessible and digestible. It really is not it's not just a matter of, like, turning on the cameras and then setting your timer for 5 minutes and see if you could beat the clock, like, it's it takes a lot of, like, deliberate production and scripting, like, my gosh. So, yeah, what you guys are doing is so cool. I really, it's really great. I saw the latest one you guys put up. I think it was the events, right? The,
Winter Sports
athletic
Clinic.
events. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
and adaptive sports and arts, yeah, so so cool, and, yeah, and yeah, you gotta make sure you get that jacket back. That thing did look expensive.
My kids watched The Bluff, and my oldest son was asking me, he's like, "Mom, who poofed your jacket? And like, where did it go?" And our our phenomenal producer, Matt Murray, Marine veteran, Matt Murray,
Nice.
give the hat tip to Matt, is the one who is our visual wizard. So all the special effects you see are all Matt.
Oh, wow.
He's incredibly talented. Um,
So
Sean Spitler
what
is, go ahead, Nancy.
No, I would go ahead. Tell us who works on the project with you. I'll ask in a minute. Go ahead.
I have to run through the folks. Sean Spitler, another
Yes.
Marine veteran.
Yeah, shout outs.
Jason Strickland is one of our wonderful our Marine colleagues, but fearless leader and incredible advocate, and puts up with all the Marines. Kayla Giuliano. So we also Marine. So poor Jason's outnumbered, but he puts up with us all, keeps us in line, and gives us a lot of creative freedom.
Well, I was just going to ask, what kind of feedback are you getting from people, and who are you most anxious to reach? Is there a particular demographic that you're really looking to reach with these?
We're really looking first, we want to reach all veterans, but we want to reach also the younger generation, our generation, that maybe doesn't know what VA has to offer them, and we want to share that
Hmm.
information. There are so many great programs and there are so many health benefits that if I were not on this side, I would not know about them. And so we're excited to support the larger mission of sharing that information. But we also know our generation is on this thing, the cell phone, all the time. So how
Right.
can we reach them? And if that's a YouTube episode, if that's a short on Instagram, then we're all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic too, as, we're coming out, um, you know Sarah, you and I, we're like the veteranos, right? And so you've got the current class, generation of soldiers, sailors, airmen and Marines
Space
who aren't.
Force,
Oh, yeah, and
don't forget.
what is it? Is it a spacey? Are they spaced out?
No,
What
space. Can we? Yes.
We call them cadets. Yeah, I don't know, space cadets.
Nick, please coin that. They're spaced out. Love it.
But yeah, all of our brothers and sisters in uniform, but they're coming out without, like, no conflict, right? Like, what a great time to be where, you don't have, it's not just like this line out the door of folks suffering from post-traumatic stress, or combat wounds, or these things. And not to say that the things that the current generation aren't doing isn't dangerous. It's just not at the level and the frequency. Like you said, like, you're not coming to a unit and told, don't get comfortable in your barracks room because you're going to be on a plane in 2 weeks. um, so there is a time for us to sort of heal, lick our wounds, get stronger. But at the same time, a lot of folks are only still doing only a single tour. All very long way of asking, like, what are you guys seeing at the VA as far as outreach is concerned? Guys, and also dovetailing off of Nancy's question about, what's the reception been like as you are dealing with this multi-generational now thing, with the not only the age differences and the generational culture differences, but the military experiences are very different between the generations, but yet everyone is still coming through the VA. It's like, what is that like having to navigate that for you?
Let's say, and again, it's not in an official capacity, but for the agency, I know it's a challenge. But again, the agency's really working to rise to meet that challenge. And just the way that even I've seen in a few years, like how we've kind of changed communications or opened up new channels for communications because you have to be able to reach folks and meet them where they're at. And it's definitely a demographic shift for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the bluff has to be a major factor in that, because it is seems cross generational and really accessible.
We actually we checked analytics recently because we run them all the time, and we actually have um, a lot of older viewers, young at heart, but older viewers, and I love that, and it makes me just really happy to see that the show is accessible to them and reaching them. And
Yeah,
it's exciting, and I hope I'm making them laugh a little bit. Um, that's my goal.
absolutely.
Make folks laugh.
Yeah, and even if it isn't like full on belly busters, or, gut busters left and right, I mean, it is making, it's the spoonful of sugar, right? That's helping the medicine go down, because you guys have to fight against the stigma that, like, you're only gonna turn on VA stuff if you're a, forms nerd, or you're having trouble falling asleep, right? Like,
Oh my gosh, a forms nerd. Do you know any of those?
oh, there's gotta be someone out there that just
'Cause
loves
I'm gonna
filling out
say,
forms.
man, like send them my way. I'm sure we could use some help.
I've got some notes for you.
Like, need some help. Thank you. But no, we want to help folks remember important information or at least where to go get important information. And sometimes cracking a joke just helps to do that.
Sure, sure.
And how do you decide what things you're going to cover and when you're going to do that?
So we try to look first at which initiatives are timely because we want to provide timely information to the veteran and most important and aligned with current priorities. And then we take information that's already been cleared, we work it into a script, we work with the different offices to make sure we have our approvals in place and that the information's accurate that we're sharing, that the links we're sharing are accurate. We would never want to share something and then someone goes to a link and they can't access it. That's no good.
It's so frustrating. Right, right.
We've all been through that. So lowest barrier to get folks the information they need.
It's so cool. And Sarah, I mean, I honestly, we've taken up so much of your time, but it seems like we just started. This has been so great. Um, there's a couple topics I still want to like unpack with you. So I'd love to have you back on. But yeah, I apologize that we've sort of haven't been paying as much attention to the time, but this has been so great. Like I just sit here and talk for hours, if I was allowed to. Um, but what do you have coming up? Like, is Bluff sort of, is that filling up a lot of the calendar, or do you have other projects coming down the pike?
So for right now, we have a lot going on with the bluff and kind of finishing up this season and seeing how we can expand the reach of the show. For all my parents out there, it is summertime, so keep him busy with the kiddos and trying to keep them from burning my house down, as
Yeah.
we all know how that goes,
As long as they don't damage the AC, you're gonna be okay.
right? Nancy, I'm sorry. I don't want to end up like
Truth.
that. That's
Yeah, you
rough.
guys keep
That's
keep
rough.
bringing this up. I mean, it's all good.
Right. Definitely be happy to come back and chat anytime. Thank you both for having me, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Well,
and then oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask, how I love to ask this question before
Oh,
before
yes,
you
yes,
go
yes.
and before you tell us, some of the important housekeeping details we want to know. We want to know, what was your best day in the Marine Corps?
Oh wow, that's a that's a doozy.
Yeah, that wasn't in the show notes, so
Man, Nancy, just throwing
One of
Kurt.
your okay, so one of your best days in the Marine Corps.
Oh man, that I can talk about. That's the other
Yeah, that
thing.
you
yeah,
that's the other thing
good
that you can
point.
talk about.
That's a
That I
Marine
can
right there.
talk about. Oh man. Wow. Trying to think. I'm thinking like milestones. I'm thinking all the big things. But I think, honestly, when we came back from Afghanistan and we were safe and like my friends were safe and we were able to just kind of like sit and be together after that. I know it's not like a big, shiny, fancy moment, right? But just knowing that your brothers and sisters and the people that you care about are good and you're sitting there and you're having a drink and you know, okay, deep breath. We're gonna on to the next, but for this moment, we're here and this is
That's
okay.
amazing. That's
Yeah, no,
amazing. I
that's
love
so
that.
huge. It that is those are such profound moments. Mine is similar, and that's when, as a company commander, we came back and we did the march to the parade deck, and I brought everybody in. I used to do this stupid thing where
Ah,
everybody put your hands inside, like I
not
had
stupid. It's not stupid.
no, it was so fun. Everyone hated it initially, and then by the end of it, it was like couldn't wait. But yeah, just doing that with all the guys and just sort of looking at all of them and just how proud of them. So totally get it. Those are wonderful moments, and yeah, I echo those sentiments. So Sarah, we can find you on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, right? Is it at Sarah Kallassy for both?
It is the same for both.
Okay. And then The Bluff on the VA YouTube channel. So you can just in the search engine for YouTube, right? Just go Department of Veterans Affairs and you'll see The Bluff channel. And then District Press, right? We can find you
And
there.
thedistrictpress.com if you are a soccer nerd. You can follow all the local soccer news in DC.
Yeah.
I'm
So
terrible at LinkedIn though. I'm really bad at LinkedIn. It's too networky for me and like I don't like it. So I don't
it's
post
the
there.
extent of my social media like outreach. But that just it's a window. So, but Sarah, so great to have you. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. And yeah, I definitely want to get you back because there's some like really meaty topics that I'd like to unpack with you. So, um, yeah, thank you so much for being here. This is really great.
Oh, thank you both so much.
A common axiom is that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Another axiom is that we sweat in peace so that we don't bleed in war. Here at the Marine Corps Association, we fully understand both. That is why we offer through our professional development page on our website a comprehensive catalog of battle studies, tactical and ethical decision games, and war games to ensure that not only do we learn from the past, but we embrace the thoughts and decisions that influence the outcomes of some of the greatest actions of the Marine Corps. We have tools and techniques that will enhance both unit training as well as enable comprehensive self study. Check out all that the Marine Corps Association has to offer on our website. Go to mca-marines.org/professional development. That's mca-marines.org/professional development. And get your reps and sets in. Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. You have heard the voices or contributions from Major Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Litchman, William Truding, and our guest. Ty Frazier is the editor, sound engineer, and technical producer. The Marine Corps Association is not an agency of the U.S. government. The opinions expressed in this episode are the personal views of the participants and do not reflect the official position of the United States Marine Corps, the Department of Defense, or the Marine Corps Association.